Now boarding all passengers to the basis.net.
Let the people see my work.
Hey, we're on the internet. Look, everything's working.
Are we famous now?
No, far from it. Hey, everyone. Welcome. Willkommen to the live stream. As you can see, and as always, do me a favor. Say your name. Tell me where you're from so we can chat, and I'll shout you guys out in here in just a second. Let's see who we got. We got Emo Bassist. Hello. Willkommen. Bienvenue. Evan's trying to stay tuned while he's at work. That's something that you can do, guys. Did you know that?
Wow.
Hey, by the way, speaking of the guys, is this the right button? Yes, it is. So, as you can see, things are a little bit different today. I've got some friends with me. I got my brother, Jason Lewis, over here. He's going to be playing guitar with us today. And hanging out behind me, wait, where is it? This way. That one. I'm not looking. That's Brian over there. Brian Copps. You've seen him in a lot of my... Actually, you've seen both of these guys in my music videos before. These guys are fantastic players, and I'm so happy to have them hanging out with us today. So, like usual, I'm just going to give it a couple of minutes, wait for some more people to tune in, and let's see where some of y'all are coming from. Hold on, let's read it in the chats. Never clicked so fast in my life. That's pretty awesome. I'm glad to have you here, Emo. Thank you. Okay, Evan, hold on. We got to talk about this. Evan says that he's watching this from work right now, and he says, the joy of working at a pizza place on college football Saturdays, hoping to die a bit down. Now, here's the thing, Evan. There is a very common bass player joke, and you guys all know this one, is how do you get a bass player off of your doorstep? And the answer, gentlemen, is...
You pay him for the pizza.
You pay him for the pizza, and any time that I meet a bass player who's actually works at a pizza place, I've done this several times.
Salud.
Yeah, I always have to be like, hey, stop perpetuating stereotypes. Evan, I'm not telling you to get a better job, but please don't be a pizza guy.
Maybe he loves it. You know, maybe he's into it.
Yeah, I won't knock it. You can, if that's your calling in life, Evan, I'll let you have it. Man, who else we got here? Let's keep doing some of these shout-outs. That was Evan. Evan's in Toledo. Who else we got? Mario from Irving, Texas. Nice to have you, man. Ben. Hey, man. So Ben and I have been working tirelessly the past few days because, I don't know if you know this, but the basis.net took a dive a few days ago. And we basically have had to rebuild the whole entire site from scratch. So like on top of prepping for this live stream and everything that we're doing, I've also had to rebuild I don't know, 1,000+ page website, and I'm still not done. We're still working on it right now. So it's functional, it's happening, but it's been a complete pain. Man,
this week? That was all.
Yeah,
this week?
dude, that was all. I probably didn't tell you guys about that.
I was going to ask you about it because I tried logging on earlier this week.
Yeah, so I mean,
Couldn't
there's
download my bass lessons. So.
there is still a site that you can get to, but it's just like the theme isn't there, so it just looks atrocious.
You had to hack into the mainframe?
I had to hack into the mainframe. Hey guys, if you haven't done this yet, please do me a favor, give this video a thumbs up, and also click on that like button. That just helps with the rankings, so that more people will get this live stream the next time we go live. And also, I want to make sure I say a very special thank you to GHS Strings for making this live stream possible. I'll be playing a bass today that's got their nickel wound, what are they called? Balanced nickels. Typically, I play the bass boomers, and their precision flats are freaking unreal. But lately, I've been really digging into the nickel strings. They're a little bit more mellower than like stainless steel and that kind of stuff. But yeah, so GHS, thank you so much for making this possible. Really appreciate it. And you know what? There's a special shout out I need to do for my wife. Started a company that launched a couple days ago, or maybe a week ago, called Monster Muttwear. So my wife has an Instagram account for our dog Dracula. Look at these photos. Brian, you can't see it because it's directly over your face. But that's my dog Dracula. And so she started a company that sells like monster related.
A little bit to your other side. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Brian, can you see it? Oh, actually, it looks like that's your head.
Can we keep that on for the whole video?
We probably could. But yeah, so please do me a favor. Go check that out on Instagram. Like I said, it went live, and yesterday was Friday the 13th, so she had a whole bunch of sales and special stuff. So if you're into dogs and the dog community and all that, please go check it out. So here's what we're going to be doing today. This is a special live stream. Normally, it's just me and a bass, and I'm playing songs and taking questions. And we are going to do a bit of that today. I do want you guys to be involved. So you're not just going to be like a fly on the wall watching us work. To an extent, you are. But I'm always going to come back and pause what we're doing and check the chat and answer questions and just kind of explain what we're doing and why we're doing it. So it'll be a lot more interactive than just watching us play some music. But that is what we're here to do today. Is that correct, gentlemen?
Play music?
Yeah,
I have
play a
no
little
idea,
bit of music.
honestly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here's what we're gonna do. I've been working on a series at thebassist.net that's gonna come out soon on playing funk music. And so the way I figured the best way to do it would be to like record a bunch of backing tracks. And then create a bunch of just different lessons on bass lines and how to create them for the genre. And so I might as well record them with my friends and invite all of you along to hang out. So that's what we're doing today. Basically, I have a shell for like 6 different tracks, and they're based on, iconic bass lines or styles or artists or bass players that I think you should be listening to if you want to get into playing funk music and funk style. So I created a little backing track that's got some keys and some horns, and it's very cheesy. It's very not good. Eventually, I'll get a real keys player and horn section on it. And we're going to track the rhythm section to it today. So I got, obviously, Brian Copps on the drums. If you're just joining us, put your digital hands together for Brian. What do you think applause sounds like from a live stream?
00111001110110110.
Yeah. All right. So that's for Brian, and then this
I'm
is my.
sorry if I offended anyone by
Nobody's
what I
offended.
just said. I'm actually not fluent in binary code.
Yeah. No, we're probably aware, and that's my brother Jason.
I'm gonna leave.
You're gonna leave? You can't leave. I need you. I need you. And that's my brother Jason. He's gonna be playing guitar with us today.
Hey,
Yeah. Digital clapping for him as well.
0111000.
Yeah. So here's what we'll do. I'll just get started. We're gonna play the first song. And this will kind of be the format, guys. So I'll play it by myself at first, so you can hear it. By the way, we haven't rehearsed. These guys don't know what I want or what. I mean, obviously we played through it a little bit so we can get our in-ears dialed and so that we know everything's sounding good. But we haven't started picking apart the songs and coming up with ideas and stuff. So we're coming at it from a fresh perspective, and you guys get to see all of that happen in real time right now. So let's do it this way. I'll always play the song first by myself, and then I'll talk to you guys. I'll get your opinions on it. I'll talk to you guys. I'll get your opinions on it, and then we'll just we'll kind of go from there. Yeah. So this first one. Hold on, give me a second here. Looks like actually we got a couple questions already. Hold on 1 second. Let's do this. I'll answer a couple of these questions and then I'll get into playing. Okay. Evan says, in all fairness, his other job is as a recruiter, so he's got more than
Right
just the
on.
pizza job. Good job, Evan. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Springfield, MA. Is that Massachusetts?
Yeah.
I always get the M1s mixed up.
Yes. Yeah. MA's
Okay, MA's Massachusetts. Hey, Andre, welcome. Bluefoot, welcome. And someone said, Andre said, what kind of bass are you going to be using today? I'm going to be playing a J bass. As always in the studio, this is my number one choice because as you're going to hear, 99% of the time, this bass will do the job. Any J bass in general, I think it's kind of the most versatile instrument. So in a session like today where I'm going to be playing, we're doing funk music, but you're going to hear some of it's finger funk, some of it's like Parliament style, some of it's going to be like Wolfpack style. But even though they're all going to be different genres within funk, this bass is going to get it done just about every single time. So that's the reason why I chose this instrument for today's session. Anyways, okay, so let me just play through this song real quick, just to give you guys an idea of what it sounds like, and then we'll play it together as a group. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. So as is going to be the case with all of these are just real quick, short examples. Again, these aren't really songs that you're going to hear on Spotify or I'm not going to do lyrics or nothing. These would just be like little quick A section, B section type things, maybe a minute, 2 minutes tops that, again, I'm going to go and create lessons for at thebasis.net. So I might play the bass that way. I might play it differently, just depending on, whatever context I can use this in. And actually, before I go on, I just want to ask a quick question. Does everything sound okay to you guys? Can you hear the bass? Can you hear the backing track? Can you hear my voice? Can you hear these guys' voices?
Mic
Check 1,
check.
2.
Check.
Yeah, is everything sounding okay? Just
Popsicle.
drop us a message in the comments really quick. Let me know, because we're also making this up as we go along. There's no front of house. There's no one working the monitor board. Actually, I did it last night. Actually, I'm sorry. There is someone standing behind. You can't see her. If she was to come around this way, you would get to see her. But Brian's wonderful wife, Chelsea, she's hanging out with us. You have to come. This is the camera right here. This one down here. Hey yo! Everyone, say hi, Chelsea. She's behind the cameras today. She's hanging with us and helping out.
It's the only eye candy you get today.
Yeah, because we'll be doing some videos tomorrow or today. We're doing something. I don't know. She is a fantastic vocalist.
One of these days.
Yeah, one of these days. So we'll be doing some stuff later. Everyone says it's sounding good. And yeah. Okay, cool. So, guys, let me start by giving you some general direction. The inspiration for this kind of a song, I think, is kind of like a Wolfpack. Brian, maybe... I don't know. I don't want to influence too much what you're going to do, but I think more like a linear groove. Is that the right word? Linear grooves are like where nothing hits at the same time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So something more like a and like lots of like if you've seen Wolfpack play before, like the drums, there's always so much space. I think that's one of the most fantastic things about that band. Is the way that they play with space. And in funk music, that's really, really important because depending on the genre or the style of funk, like if you watch Earth, Wind & Fire, how many people are on stage? 20? 30? I mean,
At least.
They can't all be playing all of the time. So it's funk music, in my opinion, is all about like we're all doing these little tiny things. I might not even, well, no, the bass is a different story, but like the keys and the horns and the guitar may not be playing a complete phrase on their own. But when you put the three of them together, it goes da 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 da. Like between the three of them, they make a complete sentence, So if you want some advice, if you're doing like open mic jams and that kind of stuff, and someone says, "Oh, play something funky," you don't want to overplay and just go to town and play all of the ghosted notes, all of the 16th notes, because you're not going to leave any room for anyone else.
Was that directed at me? Was that?
It's always directed at
That's
you.
a good
Shots
segue.
fired.
Great
Okay.
segue.
Everything's always directed at you, dude.
Notice
Sorry.
he didn't teach his brother what to do.
Well, no, I
get
was going
friendly.
to. I'm just starting with Brian. So, Brian, so on a track like that, what are you hearing?
Probably something like. Somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah, that does sound about right. I'm sorry, guys. If there was a button I was supposed to turn off, you probably were hearing Brian twice because my mic's picking him up and then all those other mics. So, Brian, can you just do that one more time? All right, cool. All right, let's try that, just you and me.
Bam.
Here we go. And 1, 2.
Somewhere in there?
Yeah, I keep forgetting. Every time I go to the mic, I've got to touch one of these buttons with my feet. So yeah, dude, I think that sounds awesome. Not gonna say anything. Jake, can you join us? We'll just kind of do that same thing, and we're gonna add in the guitar this time. Here we go. Yeah, dude, I think that sounds awesome. So you're doing kind of like more of like a palm muted.
I call that special move popcorn.
Popcorn? Is
Sounds
that
like-
a real thing? Is that a real term, or are you just making it up?
Actually, I use that often when referring to a palm mute subdivision in your right hand dampening, and
Just make sure it's not too soft, to where it's just like more like a puck, 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 puck. Like
Yeah.
we still want to hear the note popping through.
yeah.
Cool. Right on.
Give it a
And
try.
also, by the way, for everyone at home, you can ask me questions, and please ask these two questions as well, because these guys are world-class musicians. I've played with them all over the country, lots of sessions, lots of touring. So these guys really know what's up. And I think as a bass player in particular, one of the best things that you can do is rely on your other players, because we're the glue, right? We're the glue that's kind of holding the whole band, the whole session together. So I don't really know what I'm supposed to do unless I know what he's doing and what he's doing. So sometimes before I even play a groove, I just want to listen to, okay, what's going on? All right, how do I blend all that together with what my instrument does well? So if you guys have any questions for any of these guys, go ahead and just direct them that way in the chat. And let's go ahead and just answer a few really, really quick before we actually record this song. So Emily says hi. Hi, Emily. Jason, that's your wife.
Hi, babe.
Nathan, hi from Belgium again. Belgium.
Hi, other babe.
Thank you, Belgium. Andre says, are you going to use any effects? Nah, I'll just be track and dry today. There's some EQ and compression, but that's probably about it. Everyone says it sounded good. Okay. Nathan can't hear the saxophone. I'll turn that up. Don't worry.
Yeah, we need to turn up the sax for sure.
Yeah, crucial.
Evan, I always love to ask non-bassist, what are some characteristics you look for in a bassist? Ooh, okay, so let's track this, and then we'll come back and we'll answer that
I
question.
like that question.
So,
Yeah,
Chelsea, if you
that's
wouldn't
real
mind,
good.
please, hit record on all those cameras over there. And looks like we are. Brian, can you do me a favor just to slate these? Will you hit your snare drum one time? All right. Cool. So let's do some tracking. Guys ready?
Ready.
Before we do, hold on. Let me tune really quick.
That's a good idea.
This is muy importante.
I'm gonna tune my cymbals up.
Please. That was a drummer joke.
Or it's not important, right? You don't have to be in tune all the time, do you?
No.
Tuning is relative, I guess.
Okay.
All right. We're just gonna do like maybe one or two passes. Yeah. We'll do this. Okay. Let me say this really quick. A good idea in the studio, number one, is always record the first take. Because actually we should have been recording already when I had them give me their ideas. But always record the first take, because sometimes there's magic in there. And I like to do this, like one or two safe passes. And on the third one, that's where we go to town. That's where I'm like, oh, what if we sync up on that and you do that, Phil? And like, we'll just do one that's just over the top. Probably not going to use it, but it's just a good idea to have it. So guys, let's do this first one. A nice safe take. You ready?
Ready.
Let's do it.
We did it.
Sorry, I forgot to hit the button. That was beautiful, gentlemen. Excellent job. That was so cool. Let me just check the chat and make sure no one's screaming at us. Okay, cool. Everything must be working still. That's a good sign. Brian, let's do another one in this. Oh, wait, hold on. I need to group all these so that. Sorry, 1 second.
I just need to say this out loud for myself.
You just need to hear this from me. Okay, good. Create a new layer. Okay. All right. Let's do that one more time. Brian, can you hit the pickup with me? You'll notice at the beginning. Dang it, I keep forgetting. Yeah, so sorry. Set that up for us
Yeah.
at the very top.
Absolutely.
And Jason, do you ever go to ever playing any chordal, any harmonies, or are you always just single note ostinato patterns?
I can do harmony if you would like harmony.
No, I'm asking you.
In that past, no, but if you'd like me to add some in,
No,
I would.
I'm at. So you're just playing single notes, right? You're not ever playing chords.
Right now I'm doing single notes, but I like adding in harmonies all the time. So
Okay, you want to try one where you do that?
yeah,
Okay, all right.
kind of Iron Maidenish, or less Iron Maidenish.
Definitely not. Okay, not bad. Jay, can you play for me those chords that you were doing?
Yeah, I just took the melody that I made up. Ba-da-dun-da-dun-dun, then I added a third on top of that note. Right fourth.
Oh, that's what I was hearing. Okay, so yeah, so yeah, when you when you add your melody, your third on top, it's wrong. Ba-da-da-da-da. Yeah, so you're playing the wrong third. Ba-da-da-da-da. Yeah. Ba-da-da-da-da. Your bottom note's the same, but your top note. Dun. Now, bum bum. Yeah, that's what the keyboard part's. Ba-da-da-da-da. Bum bum.
Do it one more time. I'm sorry.
Ba-da-da-da-da. Bum bum. Yeah. Let's do it just you and me. 2, 3. Beautiful. Okay, so let's just do that one more time to seal the deal, and I think we got this one. So take number 3.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Sorry, I want to do one more for me because I didn't have the. Jay, we missed that at the end. Ba-da-dum-da-da-dum-dum-dum. Ba-da-dum-dum-dum. Yeah. So I mean, you played the right chords. You were going with your original comping pattern, but remember the harmonic rhythm changes da 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 at the very end.
Okay.
So let's try it one more time. Make sure we get that. Wonderful. That's the one. Okay, so let's just answer a couple of real quick questions. And
Yes.
hey, good job, everyone. Please put your hands together for what should we name our band?
You too, Jamie.
What should we call ourselves?
Dude, you know the name of our band.
Actually, I do name it, but I'm not going to say it. Chelsea, yeah, and thank you for catching that with the cameras. Okay, cool. So let's come over here to the comments and see what people are saying. Okay, Evan, yeah, asking what people like, or what they look for in a non-bassist, and he goes on to say, what makes a bassist really stand out from others from a guitar or a drummer perspective? So let's go with that one first. Guys, do you have anything that you want to say? Oh, and Mario, thank you so very much. Appreciate that.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think from a drummer standpoint, a bass player needs to have placement.
Don't say hair, because that'll kill you.
Well, I wasn't gonna say anything, but
Eyebrows.
I would say placement is my favorite thing about a bass player. It's not that you can just chop away through a song, but it's that you can glue the whole song together and then maybe throw in a little pepper every once in a while, maybe twice in the song, and then it's like, oh, okay, cool, that's there. It's just more tasteful. It like pops more in the song. You know what I mean?
And I remember you. This is a great lesson. Brian tells me all the time about this bass player that he was working with, who had like apparently just discovered chord inversions.
Oh my,
right?
Yes.
And as a bass player, that's a cool thing you can do. Jay, can you play a G chord?
Sure.
So if he plays a G chord, I can play a G. I can play a B. E. Like loud so we can hear it. Right? So like of all the, he's playing all the notes and I'm just choosing which one. Typically, bass players, we play the root. And every once in a while, we like to throw in inversions to make it more interesting. And Brian, tell me about this bass player who only ever played inversions and never played the roots.
Exactly, yeah. So he just discovered what an inversion was. And you have your relative inversions and your, relative major and minor inversions as well. So if you're playing a G major chord as a bass player,
look at this drummer
you can play
throwing
it.
down
Hey,
harmony
chords,
theory.
hey.
What is that?
But
Brian also plays piano.
As a bass player, you can play an E and you can kind of turn it into an E minor 7 thing, which is cool. Like it's one of my favorite things to do. It's just when that's all you do, it's so distracting. Like I know it's quote unquote boring to play the roots, but the best bass players make the roots feel good to me. So.
I think that's huge. A good bass player can take a boring part and still make it interesting with the other stuff. Victor Wooten, if you guys are fans of his, would call that 2 through 10, right? So as if you were going to describe music in 10 words, the first one most people think of as notes. Okay, now give me 9 more. But you can't use scales, you can't use modes, you can't use harmony, you can't use chords, can't use anything because those are all notes. So what other musical things can you be doing besides playing notes? Because that's just one of the 10 if you were just to limit music to 10. So things like feel, groove, tone. I mean, like start using other adjectives and then get your brain to think that kind of stuff. Yeah. I think one of the hardest bass lines of all time is Rocco Prestia's "What Is Hip" on the Tower of Power. I can't do it. It's one freaking note. But if you listen to him play it, it's the funkiest groove in the world. And it's one stinking note. And it's not, I mean, you heard me try it. I didn't sound like him because I don't have that ability. Jay, what's your answer to that question?
If you're born into a family with a decent bass player, that's usually a good start.
That helps.
It does help. Honestly, I echo what was already said. I think groove and feel are most important. And again, with a drummer, if they're locking with the drummer, that's key. As a rhythm guitar player, that's absolutely what I'm trying to tap into as well.
Well, because we all three of us make up the rhythm section. And I guess the piano player too, keys player, in like a traditional ensemble. So yeah, we're all doing the same thing. We're just trying to create a bed
Yeah.
for the vocalist or the solo instrument, the soloist or whoever it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're all working for the same goal, just trying to do it on our respective instruments.
And chord inversions as a guitar player,
Hey Jay, get up right up on your mic too.
chord inversions as a guitar player. My brother's holding down the fort. I can do inversions and stuff, and that's fine as long as it's not taken away from the arrangement. I do like good voice leading and walking bass lines when necessary, but it can't be the entire song.
No.
It goes pop punk really fast, and it's like, which Strung Out's bass player was a pizza guy as well.
Chris Aiken? No, I think so.
I think so. I paid for a pizza once with him, and I told him he was doing the Lord's work.
I want to get him on the podcast real bad.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, they're not too far away. They're only in Simi. That's like 10 minutes from here.
Yeah. So
Maybe he'll bring you some pizza.
if a
We could
bass
probably
player,
make this happen.
That'd
be the best way to get him on the podcast.
erase everything that I just said and order a pizza from Amici's in Simi Valley.
We're going to do that anyways.
Shout out
Okay,
to
so
Amici.
let's
See
keep
if we can
going
get him
down
over
with
here.
these questions real quick. If you're just joining me, thank you. Welcome. Willkommen. Bienvenue. Aaron, yes, that is coffee that I am drinking. I just started drinking coffee like a year ago. I don't like the taste of it, but I'm working on it. Because last
This
night,
coffee is really good.
yeah, normally I drink coffee for the health benefits of the antioxidants and the I don't know. It has something to do with fasting. It's science. Don't ask. But today I drink coffee because I am so tired. Guys, I'm running on 3 hours of sleep, and I have the most massive food hangover right now. Meaning, like I stopped drinking a long, long time ago, but now if I go off my diet and I eat a lot of sugar and carbohydrates like I did last night, I just wake up feeling like, oh, what did I do? I feel like I got run over by a truck that's shaped like a donut. So I feel like I feel terrible this morning. So the coffee is helping me stay awake at the moment.
Do you need some Takis? Some Takis Fuego?
What's up?
It's a spicy chip, but it's not
No,
a chip. It's
no.
rolled.
No, we can't eat in front of microphones. That's like the worst thing you can do.
Well, I have them.
Yeah, I know you do. I hid them.
That's
they were right
actually-
next to you. Guys, he had this bag of chips that was right next to him.
I was
He's like,
wondering where
he's
they
like,
are.
Hey, could I eat these on the live stream? Like, no, because the last thing people want to hear is. So I went and hid them. Chelsea's running. Look, you're not going to find them. I hid them from Jason, and he can have them afterwards. But he
like a
can't.
child.
But he can't have them right now.
Now these help with tracking. My
not
brother
true.
may not,
Actually, here's an
Agree,
urban
but-
legend. I don't know if it's true, but Jaco Pastorius used to claim that he would eat fried chicken before every show because the grease would lubricate his fingers, and then he could play faster.
tone sauce. These are fat guy guitar player secrets that we don't like disclosing to the world, but here at the bassist.net podcast, you
It's
get
how we
those.
roll.
People have
We're,
to pay for this normally. This
know.
kind of info.
Hey, speaking of which, if anyone wants to donate in a tip jar fashion, I think there's something here called a super chat or something. These guys are here on their own accord. In fact, they're paying me to be able to do this. These guys are already out like $200 each. So if you want to chip in and help out some
Please
starving
chip
musicians,
in. I need lunch.
what if I was charging you to be here? That's when I know that I've made it. when I don't pay my band, they pay me. That's going to become my new
That's
goal in life.
Jamie Lewis's definition
That's
of
what I'm
success.
shooting for. What else we got here? Mario, yes, thank you, man. I appreciate it. I'm glad you like it. Bill says, are we seeing Jamie playing the role of music director here? Is that a fair character? Yes. Music director, producer, like I composed these examples that you're hearing, and obviously I'm trying to rip off different songs, so they're not that original. But yeah, so I'm just trying to do my best to make them come to life. And also, I think as an MD, if you want to talk about that real quick, I think a really good idea is to notice like the first thing I did is I played for them, and then I went like, so what are you hearing? Here's what I'm thinking, but like I didn't tell him like, okay, Brian, do this. I just said, hey, linear groove, is that the thing? Cool. Can you show me something in that? Like I just gave him one word and then let him go off on it. Jason, same thing. Like hear what people are going to give you just right off the top of their head, because that's one of the reasons why I asked them to be here. If I didn't like the way Jason played, I would have had a different guitar player. Right? If I didn't like the way Brian played, I would have got a different drummer. So I like the way that they play. I like the way that they interpret. So I want to hear that first. And if it's not jiving, well, then I need to kind of get in. And so Jason, in that other example, he was playing what'd you call it? Popcorn?
Yeah.
And then I was like, are you playing any chords? And we started playing chords. I was like, okay, that's cool. But we need to fix a couple of things. And because, I'm listening. I'm actively listening to what he's doing, what I'm doing, what's in the backing tracks with the keyboards. And so I'm just like, kind of trying to listen to that stuff as much as you can. And then if you notice, we kind of ran. I was like, cool, play it with me. Okay, that note, we got to adjust it. Like, don't move on until you get it right. If I tell Jason or Brian, I mean, it was Jason in that case, but if I tell Brian, like, hey, I want you to do this thing. Okay, cool. And then move on. No. Let's play it. Let me hear it. You got it? You cool with it? You comfortable? Okay, now let's move on. Like, you always want to make sure that you seal the deal. Otherwise, it could go in one ear and out the other, that kind of thing. So, yeah, I guess I'm directing at the moment, but these guys are so good, I really don't have to. And if you want to know the secret to being a good MD, that's what it is. Just find the best people you can and let them do what they do, and then only step in when you have to, and just let them take over, because these guys know what they're doing. Speaking of that, let's do another one. This song is kind of like a Parliament funkadelic, kind of like an old school, like old school funk. Brian, do me a favor, can you slate it with a couple snares? Okay, so just like last time, I'll play just a second of it so you guys can hear it, and let's see what we get here. Which of these buttons do I want to press? Let's press this one. Okay, here we go. So, like you can see what I was saying a second ago about leaving space for everybody. What am I doing here? I keep knocking this thing. Leaving space for everyone. So, I wasn't playing, like if I was playing that by myself, I might do something like this. Sorry, I keep adding all these like extra notes. I'm popping the bass on the upbeats and that kind of stuff. And if I was playing on my own, maybe that's what I would do. But once I throw everyone else in, still keeps moving. But like that's the idea, is I want to leave space for what they're doing. And also sometimes like people can't play unless they add in all that stuff. You know what I mean? Because silence, especially slow silence, that's one of the worst things for your timing, because there's so much space in between. There's a lot of room for you to mess up. So it might be easier to do this than it is to do this. Right? Just to like literally don't add any extra ghosted notes. Don't do things with your hand to help you keep timing. Just have good timing all on your own, you know. So,
which
anyways,
is everybody's job in the band.
Absolutely, definitely not just the bass player, but
sure.
Yeah. So let's do this. Let's just all of us play, because this one's a pretty basic one. I think I already know what you guys are going to come up with. So let's just jam it one time, and then we'll start doing passes. Okay.
Cool.
Here we go. I think this one just has a 1 bar count in. That was awesome. So like I said, rule number 1 is always record the first take, and I think I'm going to end up keeping that one. If anything, I would like to do it again, guys, but for this reason, I want to get a simpler one. I'd like to get one. Brian, you're doing a lot of really cool. Can you play your groove for me? Okay, so that right there. So let's do a pass this time where we leave all the leave that stuff out. I mean, not because I don't like it, but we just did a take where we have it. We're good. We got it. So let's do another one where maybe we simplify a little bit, because that is kind of more characteristic of this style of genre. This is one of those things like, if you've seen Parliament or George Clinton or any of those guys, there's 100 people on stage. But if you close your eyes and listen, you're like, I hear 5 instruments. There's 3 guitar players. What the hell are they doing? I don't know. I can't tell you what they're doing, but they're all playing right now.
And they're into it too.
Yeah, and that's again what I'm talking about. It's fun. It's all about that space, leaving that space. And so, so let's just do one where we simplify it just a little bit in drumland. Okay. Jay, what were you doing? Can you play harder? And which pickup are you on right now? All the way up?
I'm going neck and middle.
Can I hear just the neck? I already like that infinitely better. Does that work for you?
There's another option too. I'm using the end of the pick right now. I can use the rounded side of the pick. It's got a fatter sound.
I'm sorry. I'm talking to Jason. You guys can't even see him.
Sorry. If I use the rounded side of the pick, it's got a fatter.
Can you roll your tone knob down just a little bit, like 10%?
How offensive. I'm just kidding.
Let's hear it. Yeah, I like that a lot more. So here's another thing for the music direction, producing, all that kind of stuff. Not just listening to parts, but also tone and like the way things are sounding, because that does make a difference. If I was playing this song, I would probably go bridge pickup, but if I do that, I'm going to lose a lot of volume. And again, we're deleting everything I'm playing today. We're just trying to capture rhythm section. I'll redo the bass parts when I actually film the lessons on them. So I'm not as worried about that. But I'm listening to these guys and trying to hear, okay, bridge pickup. Can I hear that one? Can I roll the tone knob a little bit? Just anything to get the song closer to where you want it to be when you come to mix it. Because that specifically in recording, that'll help you out a ton. If you just record dry and just put everything up and press record and then try to make that sound good after it's done, you might get there, you might not. But if during the recording process you're thinking about, should I use this pedal? Should I turn this knob a little bit this way? Even just a 10% roll off of the tone, it took away some of the very ticky top end that I just didn't want to hear in a ticky top end.
Ticky top end.
That's an official guitar term.
Tiger.
That made me think of Kung Pao.
Ricky Ticky Tavi. Ricky Ticky Tavi.
Has anyone seen the movie Kung Pao?
Product placement.
It won the Academy Award for greatest film of all time every year, oddly enough.
Yeah.
It was tied with Highlander. So let's do this. Let's just play that one more time rather than, okay, so like I said, rather than doing a more intricate version, we already kind of did that. So let's do the simplified version, all right?
I like it.
Here we go. Sorry, I'm a doofus. I forgot to hit the button again. Here's the thing, guys. I'm making this up as I go along, and I've got these buttons that when I hit it, it starts going between all the different screens, and it just makes it more entertaining for you guys to watch, I think. But I've got to remember to hit these buttons and step on them. So please forgive me. Let's do it. Excellent. All right, let's move on. This one, actually, hold on. Let's take to the questions. Hey, Ben just donated you guys $5.
Ben,
Thank
you're the
you, Ben.
man.
You can split it $2.50 each.
You're doing the Lord's work.
Thank you, Ben. He
Thank you,
sees
Ben.
you.
Hey, so check this out. So Ben, when we played Des Moines, Iowa.
Oh, this is Ben.
This is Ben.
Hey, what's up, Ben? Hey.
So Ben comes to the show and hangs out with us all day. He acted as our runner, and he also took us out that night. Brought us to one of his shows. Took us around downtown Des Moines, and we got to see the whole thing. And the best part, I mean, at the end, he gave us like this huge box of canned tuna. Which, if you're on the road and you're in a band and you're living out of a wagon, which, dude, I got an Instagram sponsorship, not sponsorship, but like a sponsored post from Bandigo.
Did you really?
Yeah, and I saw the pictures of these Mercedes bandwagons that we all tour in.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that brings back rough memories.
Yes.
But so Ben gives us this box of tuna that literally nobody ever ate, but we took it out each and every night, and like it became the bane of our existence. Like, why are we carrying around like 10 pounds of tuna with us everywhere we go? But I saved it because I was like, nah, dude, when I get home, I'm going to plow through that stuff. And I still am. That's how much tuna Ben bought us. That was 4 months ago.
That was 6 months ago.
I'm still working on it, Ben. We're getting there. So
thank you, Ben. For
yeah,
the tuna.
Ben is the man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Sorry. Okay, there's a lot of questions in here, so let me see if I can get to them all. Are they in here? All right, let's go with whatever Nathan's saying. All right, so Nathan says, do you have any tips for a bass player who wants to start getting into live mixing? Also, okay, let's go with that question first. Unfortunately, live mixing, where am I? I'm this one. Live mixing isn't something that I do. I do a lot of studio mixing, and I actually mixed this concert that you're hearing right now last night. So we came in here and I pressed record while we were jamming, and I went home and mixed everything. So this is the first time I mixed a show in the future. Or in the past, I guess. I mixed today's show last night, and it hit me as like, oh my God, I just mixed a show that we haven't played yet.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Exactly. So yeah, for live, unfortunately, that's not my area of expertise. It's a little bit different. The second question says, also, how do you remember what to play? Damn good question. When the song gets or goes to a different part, is it truly practice and repetition to remember it all, or are there some tricks? Yes, there are lots of tricks. I'll share some of mine, and maybe these guys have some also. But for me, when I'm learning a song, I don't hear songs. In other words, I'm not thinking of this song being its own individual composition. It really isn't. This depends on genre and all that. But if we're talking like pop, rock, soul, R&B, anything that kind of fits in the rock band type thing. Oh, sorry, Chelsea, did we stop recording on those other ones? Okay, no, I'm just making sure. What was I saying? Wait for it. Hold on. There's not that many different types of songs. Like, if you're playing a pop tune, there's 3 songs. I mean, lyrically, there's the I Love You, there's the I Want You Back, and there's the
Party.
The party song. Yeah, like, really, there's 3 topics. And when it comes to, like, chord progressions, there's not that many, especially in pop music. The most ones you'll hear... You know what I mean? That could be 20 million different songs. And same thing. It's going to go verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, outro, or something like that. And all I need to do is be like, which song is this and what's different about it? So if there's like only 5 songs, maybe there's 20. I don't know. There's really not that many. Be like, oh, this is basically this song by Green Day, except on verse 2, we drop out the beginning. Oh, there's an extra bar going into the chorus. Like, there might be little things where I'm like, okay, mental note, write this down. But otherwise, I hear a song and I'm like, oh yeah, I've played this before. Even if I'm hearing it for the first time, I can play the bridge. I can play along to a song and guess how the bridge is going to go and get it right most of the time. And that's not that like, oh, I'm so good. I mean, that is good songwriting. I mean, seriously, like if I can predict where a song is going to go, in my opinion, that's like, man, these guys are great because they did what the song was supposed to do. And if they surprise me and I'm like, oh, it's going to go here, and then they go to a borrowed minor 4, and I'm like, what? Like, I'm even more interested because you did the opposite of what you were supposed to do. The weird one's when you do things that just don't make sense. And it's like, oh, you just played an extra of this and that.
Like, this is a different song now.
Yeah, like the bass player who just learned how to invert a chord. Like, oh, you're just doing that because you want to, not because it makes sense, and not because it's the best thing.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, when it comes to learning and memorizing songs, which I memorize everything, music stands are not allowed on my stage ever. Everything is memorized. And so that's the way I do it. I just kind of catalog everything into like one of 20 different possibilities, and then what's the difference between this song and that song? And I think you'll find there's really not that much. So that's that helps me tremendously. I can listen to a song one time and then go on stage and play it, and I do it all the time. Almost every time I'm on stage, the first time playing the song is on stage in front of an audience or at sound check or something like that. And it's not because I have an amazing memory. I'm going to forget it as soon as I walk off stage. But in that moment, I can get through it because I've mapped it to something else. If you guys are fans of a show called Sherlock or Sherlock Holmes, he does this thing called a mind palace. And that's exactly what I do. It's like this song reminds me of that time that I was in the first grade and we went to the zoo and there was a gorilla and he went, ooh, and ooh. Or it makes that sound. I don't know. I know it sounds ridiculous, but
I love that.
that's how I do things. I just try to relate it to something I already know, and now I'm like halfway or way over halfway there. I don't even have to learn a new song.
Yeah.
I already know it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What do you guys think?
I completely agree. Having a reference tune or something that you can map that out with helps. It can be extremely specific to the style of music you're recording. So if you're doing a prog thing or something like that, you don't necessarily want a reference tune to build off of. You're building off the same theme.
Remember to get
over
right
and
up on that
over
mic, bro.
Sorry. Can you hear me better now?
Yes.
Okay. I was waiting for them to answer like they could. Hi, guys.
Yes.
We don't have the technology yet.
Completely agree with what my brother said. Just for styles of music that can change, so progressive music, prog rock kind of stuff, you would change that a little bit. But what you were referencing for pop music and everything, yeah, that's huge. Just having a reference tune to.
Brian?
I was
alter
gonna
that
say, I like the prog thing. So a lot of times those parts are so like intricate that it's like it's not necessarily hard to switch gears. It's like, oh yeah, this is this section. Okay, this is this section, and they're all so seared into your brain because you have to think so hard that's like the prog world. But if and more like the pop side of things or rock side of things, I'm sure this applies to everybody. But as a drummer, what I try to memorize is dynamics first, not necessarily the part. It's like, okay, you know, because there is a certain level of I've been doing it a long time and there are enough rules that you can kind of follow to get through. But it's like, okay, the verse is down, chorus 1 is up a little bit, verse 2 is down, chorus 2, you know what I mean? Just seeing the up and down throughout the songs. That's what helps me the most, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm a writer too, so when I'm in the studio, I have a piece of paper. I write everything out. That way I can map out those kinds of broad strokes, which is really important. And the other thing too is if you're hired for someone and you are recording their music and you're using a reference, do not mention the reference, right? You're sitting there working on someone's tune. You're like, man, this sounds so much like Linkin Park. And they're like, what are you talking about? I just offended you and you're supposed to pay me and I'm sorry. So a lot of times you just, go with the creative juices and flow that song is, and you don't always have to say it. I talk too much. He doesn't talk enough. So this is kind of what's worked for, I don't know, me.
Kind of.
A little bit, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But anyways, yeah, that's the general idea. And Nathan, you responded with, so your tip on remembering one song is just remembering 1,000 songs and then just it reminds you of a different one.
Yeah,
so
super
to be honest, it's not 1,000. I mean, it really isn't. Again, maybe there's 10 pop songs and 15 funk songs. You know what I mean? Like there's really not that many. Like even that simple progression. It's too late to apologize. It's too late. Hey, what else is this? I've become so numb. I can feel you there. So much more. That's a Linkin Park song.
Lose it all in the end.
It doesn't even matter. I mean, like, there's so much. It's not
That
even
was beautiful, you guys. That was beautiful.
Yeah, it's what we do.
And a little polytonal too. We had some
kind of
moments.
I'm not so interested in harmony.
I like that.
But anyways,
for the
let's go do another one here. This song is I'm just gonna say it's a James Brown ripoff, which is a great place I think to start if you're into funk music. Because number one, it's freaking awesome. But
I feel good.
Yeah,
Feel
yeah.
good.
It's hard not to feel good.
Living in America.
Yeah, dude. What did we do on like night 2 of the tour? We watched.
Oh gosh.
We watched
The
just an
interview.
hour of different James Brown videos, and you cannot watch one without watching 1,000 other ones.
True.
And then we ripped off everything. Hit me 1 time, bam. Hit me 2 times, bam, bam. Are you ready? Hey, like it's the best, man. But yeah, so I
blast.
think this is a great place to start if you want to get into playing funk music because this kind of preceded the finger funk style. And the complexity that came later with like Parliament and Earth, Wind and Fire and that kind of stuff, but it's all rooted in there. So if you can master James Brown bass playing and like James Jamerson Motown kind of stuff, when you pick up the tempos a little bit, or you try playing Jocko and Victor and that kind of stuff, I think you're giving yourself a big head start. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but yeah, James Brown is
100%.
a great place to
If
start.
you just choose a genre or two and then study 2 or 3 of the greats in that genre, then it's like just go from there. Yeah, you don't have to learn 100,000
Neil
songs.
Rogers, all the big
So
guitar players.
here's what the groove sounds like. Check it out. And also, given that is a this is kind of intended for a beginner, it's the reason why I threw in that really easy lick, which is just a descending blues scale. So that's the idea. I'm assuming you guys already know exactly what to do, so let's just go ahead and do it. Chelsea, are we rolling on the cameras already? All right, cool.
What's the count off here?
2 bars.
2?
Two bars on this one. Brian, can you do me a favor and just slate for me just 2 snare drum hits? Woo! Okay, let's do it. That was awesome. I don't even think we're going to do another pass on that one. Chelsea, you can just kill the cameras right there. That was it. Hey, Emo Bassist says that guitar riff is lit. Is that what the kids, does that mean awesome?
Yep.
Does that mean good?
What,
I'm not making
is
fun
a-
of you, Emo. I'm just old.
That's positive. That's
Okay.
a positive thing.
Okay.
lit
Good
is
job,
positive.
Jason.
Is lit an abbreviation for something? Because I know abbreves are in. So is lit short for something?
I think
I
it
don't
just means
On fire?
on fire. Yeah.
Like,
Like
Thank
you lit
you.
that match.
Awesome.
and I'd like to point out
Obvi.
one thing.
Grandpa's right
It's very
now.
obvi.
We're going to move on to the next one, but I want to point out one thing that was super awesome that Brian and I both kind of went to the same place on this.
We had a moment.
We did have a moment,
Yeah.
but it wasn't like a super fill that lined up or something like that. It was just the beginning of the song. He was playing tight on the hi-hat, and I was doing. And then at the repeat after that lick, whatever it was, he goes to the ride.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you're looking for new ideas, you need to look no further than what your other players are doing and just react to what they're doing. So as soon as he went to the ride, play a closed hi-hat, Brian. Okay, now go to your ride. All right, so the ride has much more sustain, right, than the hi-hat does. So my notes, instead of playing, I'm basically playing the same thing I was doing a second ago, but it sounded like we went to level 2. And all I did is I just let my notes ring out a little bit more. So when you're looking for ideas, like, oh man, in the studio or on stage, in the moment, in a jam, whatever it is, and you're like, there's something I need to play. Think of 2 through 10. It's not notes. I didn't change my notes at all. I just changed the note length, and I added it a bit more to boom, 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 boom. You know, I was playing the same notes, but instead of going bum, 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 basically the same thing. Instead of, you know, and I got that idea from the fill that he set it up with, or again, he switched cymbals or something like that. So that is so huge. And Brian may not, I don't want to put Brian on the spot, but a drummer may not be like, oh, I want to bring this bass player on because when I switch cymbals, he follows me. He may not know like that kind of thing. But what Brian was talking about in the beginning when you guys asked, what do you look for in a bass player? That's one of them.
Absolutely.
That's one of the things that he looks for.
I can confirm that.
And maybe he doesn't know it, but he's like, wow, it just seems like when I went there, Jamie was already there waiting for me. Exactly. And that's, I'm not trying to talk myself up here, but I'm just saying like that's what I think a good bass player does, is always trying to anticipate what everyone else is doing. And when they go there, don't leave them hanging. Go there with them as long as you can. You know, if he starts playing in 11 or something like that, all right, maybe we can't follow you, Brian. But and he totally could too. He's got the chops for it.
I won't
sure.
do that to you guys. I won't do it.
Yeah.
Can I add something to that?
Yeah,
too?
yeah, please.
On a technical side, this is all right on. Drum side, it's the same exact thing as kind of what you were saying, Jamie. I'm playing the same thing on the hi-hat as I did on the ride. Just the texture of the cymbal is different. But I wanted to touch on like how relational this is too. I don't think we talk about that much, but like I'm in a food coma today as well because I was with Jamie last. Like we're friends.
Because you killed an entire bag of Doritos.
An entire bag,
which was easy when we were in our 20s.
Yeah, I can't do that
like
I used to.
I had dragon breath this morning.
Yes, it was rough. It was rough. But yeah. So with that being said, though, like I can't stress the importance enough. Like you go to In-N-Out together, or you go to
Anyone
eat
who
Doritos.
doesn't know what In-N-Out is, it's a burger chain here on the West Coast.
Oh yeah,
we forget that pretty much everywhere else doesn't have them.
I didn't even grow up here, and I'm already. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that. I think all of that translates musically as well. So that's all. I'm done.
Definitely.
Jamie?
Guys, oh sorry.
Sorry, I have a question for you. Can you sell that song to the next Oceans movie, Oceans 40, whatever one's coming out? I feel
Probably.
like robbing a casino every time. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's just do that instead of, because we'll make more money robbing a casino than
That's
we will
true.
selling a movie.
Every time we went in a pass on that, I'm going, man, this is awesome. I want to run
we were
around
actually
Vegas
talking
in
about
a
that yesterday,
suit.
like heist movies and also comedy specials. Like every comedy special starts with yeah, and then some screaming over the top.
Yeah.
But it's always that jackpot beat or whatever
It's so
break
true.
beat. All right, let's do another one. This song is kind of geared towards. I think you'll find it really obvious what song I'm trying to rip off. And by the way, that's very intentional. I can't use copyrighted material to sell because that's illegal. So I kind of like took the guts of a song that I was trying to emulate. Like if I was trying to learn funk music, what are like the top 10? And I just kind of wrote something that sounded like that. So this is a very famous bass line that got sampled in a very famous rap song. And I'm just kind of messing with a little bit, but I think the lessons we can take away from it are fantastic. So same thing. Let me just play it for a second, and then we'll chat and we'll make it happen. And we gotta blow through these too, because what time is it? Wow, we've been doing this for an hour already. I promise we got 3 more, and we'll make it happen. Are we recording, Chelsea? All right, Brian, can you slate it for me? All right, so here's what it sounds like. So, anyways, that's the basic idea.
Nice.
I'm sure you guys know what to do already.
We'll find out.
Cool. I'm just going to trust you. So, yeah, let's do a pass. And you guys got any questions, anything that you need to hear? Let us know. Here we go. So, what?
I didn't get the last hit, but
So, do we need to do it again?
you fix it in post.
No, we don't do anything in post, bro.
Just fly it over.
No.
All right.
This is I call the basis headquarters. It's a one take wonder here. We do everything one time. That's it. No punching in.
One take
The
studios.
one take wonder. All right, let's do it again
Well,
for Jason. Sweet, let's go with that one.
And freeze.
And good job, everybody. Sweet, good. Yeah, cool. I'm looking back
Grooving.
over here. Let's see if we got any questions. Where's the button that takes me to the chat? Oh, it's this one. Okay, hold on. What do we got in here? Oh, I hit the whoops. Sorry. Making mistakes. Okay. Where are we? Okay. Sing, get a fuck. Hey, you know what? One of these days, we are going to do some singing here. Not today. I'm not set up for it. I didn't warm up my voice. Eric says, "Oh my God, sounds awesome. Really, really nice. Thank you. I appreciate that."
Thank you, Eric.
Guys, if you
Thank
have
you.
any questions at all for me, for Brian Cops, or for Jason, please drop them in the chat. And hey, also now's a really good time to let you know, if you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to the channel. All you gotta do is click on that little button and make sure, this is important, hit that little bell icon. That means that when I go live, you will get notified, which most of you probably did right now anyways. And also, if you wouldn't mind, please just give this video a thumbs up and hit that like button. That way more people will get notified when I go online. Why did I start doing an accent? That was
I
stupid.
don't know, but I like it.
That was pretty good. Yeah,
Can you
I'll-
finish the session with that?
Hey, what's that question right there? Oh, what kind of guitar picks am I using? Yeah, let me answer that real quick.
Okay, yeah, tell us, Jay. What kind of guitar? picks
So,
are you using?
this is a 2012 Taylor Swift,
Signature?
also T Swift signature pick. They were made available at I won't say the store, but I'll say Target.
Oh.
That's a different way of saying it. It's very
The
fancy.
French version.
They came in a packet like this. I believe they were 68 cents. and they have the best funk tone. They are weighted properly for perfect aerodynamic striking, and they taste
good.
like angel tears. So when you put your pick in your mouth,
aren't you supposed to have some on your mic stand like this? Why do you have a pack of them right in front? Was that seriously just to do a commercial right now?
I am no way affiliated with Taylor Swift picks made available at Target 2012.
These are unopened. You literally just have a pack of picks out because you wanted to talk.
But I have this one.
Because you wanted to talk about guitar picks.
Look,
there's only one in here?
T Swift.
He wants to be on their roster.
Are these legit? Are they actual guitar picks? Or are they like
Taylor, you're my
cardboard?
girl. Okay, I just need to say that out loud.
You know what? This is something I wish I could do, like the Bobby Vega style.
Yeah.
I don't have very good picking technique at all, but I wish I could do like funk style pick playing. That's something I don't have the chops for.
Yeah.
These picks are terrible, Jason.
Well, that's the whole
They're flimsy
point.
and they're already coming apart. I played 7 notes. This one's already wearing out.
So, tone is in the fingers.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Hey, we got something
out.
over here. Somebody asked Ed. Hey, and by the way, I'm so sorry, but if we miss your question, that's just because I'm an idiot and I'm going too fast.
Just blame Jason.
If I skip your question, go ahead and ask it again. I'm not skipping anything on purpose. Where are we? Okay, so someone said, which microphone are you using for the high frequencies on the kick drum? So there's actually 2 mics on the kick, and someone asked a moment ago if that is a speaker down there, and it is. I was about to ask, has anyone ever heard of a Yamaha sub kick?
Yes.
And obviously nobody can answer. Well, you could say yes or no in the chat. And that's a very common thing to put on the outside of a kick. It only captures the woof frequencies, I guess. The boom. And that's like a $400 microphone, technically, which isn't that much money in the scheme of mics. But you can make your own. It's just a speaker cone that you there's a red wire and a black wire. Not a doctor. I don't know how this shit works, but if you just flip flop them, a speaker can turn it. A speaker and a microphone are like the opposite of each other. Just like a radio and a theremin are the same thing, but just opposite technologies. So if you take a speaker and it's got 2 wires, like a white and a black, and you just flip flop it and wire it to a microphone cable, you get a enormous microphone. So this is a Yamaha NS10 speaker. I want to say it's an 8-inch driver. And so that's like an 8-inch microphone. So that picks up a lot of low end. The larger the diaphragm, the more low end you pick up. And so that's something I made maybe about 10 years ago. It's being held together by duct tape. You probably can't see, but I didn't even have electrical tape. Yeah, twist ties and duct tape. So yeah, that's what's on the outside. And then on the inside, you can't see, but there's a microphone mounted in the actual drum itself. It's a Shure SM91. Which is a tabletop mic. So if we were doing a conference, or you went to like a seminar, they would use that microphone. It's really bad. It only picks up a clicky, poppy sound, which when you blend that with the that you get from the sub kick,
magic,
you get a really, really awesome sounding kick drum. So
you have it kind of spider webbed in here too. It's like floating.
Yeah. So I used a bunch of bungee
great.
cords, and there's rivets inside the kick drum.
Yeah.
And so I just created, I suspended this microphone inside. I got the idea from NAMM Show. There was a company that sold like this kit for like $500 to, you can shock mount. That's what it's called, shock mount. You can shock mount your mic inside of your kick drum. I'm like, cool. Went to the hardware store and bought 50 cents worth of bungee cords, and I did it. I saved $495.50. So
and let's be honest, this technology you got from Ghostbusters, crossing the streams.
Yeah, kind of.
That's how you destroy Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chelsea wants to know if the drummer is single. He is most certainly not.
Sorry, Chelsea.
Most certainly not. Boundary mic. Nice comment. Yeah. That's pretty much what it's called. Yeah. Okay. So let's do another one. This one's kind of more like a Wolfpecky style. Let me play it for you guys. Is this a 2-bar count in? No, this is a 1-bar count in. Actually, I don't even remember how this one goes. Let's find out. So basically that's the idea. It's just a repeated C minor groove, and I'm trying to do a lot of with this one. I really am trying to be intentional with the ghosted notes. Because I think that's really characteristic to the way Joe Dart plays. So earlier I was like, leave lots of space. And I'm not saying Joe's a busy player, but in this context, I kind of want to do the opposite. I want to be kind of the driving rhythmic force in this groove. And hopefully everyone will kind of support that with what they're doing. So guys, let's give that one a try. You ready?
Hopefully.
1 bar count in on this one. Sorry, Chelsea, are we recording on those cameras? Brian, can you slate it really quick? By the way, you guys have noticed we've been like pressing record on the cameras with all this. So you'll see this content again in many, many different ways. It'll manifest itself in social media posts for all of us or other lessons here at thebasis.net. And eventually I'll start teaching different things that you can do with it, the bass lines that I'm playing today, and obviously anything that I come up with in the future. So here we go. And another thing, to go back to what we were talking about being a producer, music director, and all that, is when I'm playing, I'm trying to lock eyes with these guys. Hopefully they're doing the same to me because they don't know when the song's going to end. So if you see, I keep looking back over here at my screen and I can see when we're coming up to the end because I'm not really paying attention either. And so like I'm looking at like, oh, this is the last one. So I'm trying to look over at Brian, like this is the one, and kill the song. Because that's one of your jobs as a music director is to make sure we all start and stop at the right time.
We appreciate that.
Yeah, you're
Thank
very
you,
welcome.
Jamie.
Let's do this. Let's do this just one more time. I liked what you guys were doing. Let's just try to play off of each other a little more. Have some fun with it.
Okay.
Yeah, so if that was the safe take, let's go out a little bit, but be real intentional about it so we can follow each other. All right. Yeah. All right. Okay. We were having too much fun on that one. Now, here's the thing. That was not a good... I'm sorry. I was talking that whole time. No one could hear what I was saying. Okay. That was a fantastic idea.
Try.
It was a good stab, but we didn't nail it. We didn't execute it. But there were some moments in there that were awesome. Whatever Phil you did, he did something, and I got real short with my notes, and I tried to follow you on it. So that was a cool attempt. So now let's seal the deal. Can you do it? Can you do it?
Let's find out.
All right, let's make it happen. Here we go. Yeah, that was the one for me.
Yeah, that was way better.
I'm for it. Jason didn't say anything, so that means he sucked.
I loved it. I love it.
dang.
The
And here's the
food
other thing,
is
too.
good here.
Here's the
You
other
guys
thing
are
too.
brothers for
I
sure.
I,
They're
I give
treating
my
me
brother
well.
a lot more shit than he deserves, but it's because he's my brother and I'm allowed to do that. So
Yeah.
I normally wouldn't talk to my guitar players that way, but he lets me because at one point in time, no, you're still bigger than me. But at one point in time, you used to be able to beat me up. I don't know. I might stand a chance now.
I think we should try that out right now.
You think
I think you
right
guys
here in
should
front of
fight.
everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the
I
world
don't
needs
think
to
you
know.
want to do that.
All right, let's answer a few questions, and then guys, we got just one more, and yeah, we'll get going here. Where's the? Oh, there's the chat stream.
You guys
Okay.
want to put money on me in the tip jar? That's
Yes,
probably a
please. If
better
you guys
idea.
feel like donating, again, these guys are here. I'm not paying them anything.
Pay to
so-
play.
Oh, I meant
yeah,
in
they're here
fighting.
making it happen. So,
Put money on me.
oh,
But
if you want to put money down in the fight, well,
Oh,
we might be able to
that's-
make that happen. I mean, I have to go to camp. I'd have to train first, but we could do that in like
this
six.
is turning into a Joe Rogan
we could do
podcast
this in like
so
6
fast.
weeks. We'll
Oh,
find out.
UFC way too quick.
How about if we get to $500, you guys will fight right now?
Who does that? There's some YouTuber or podcaster is like, oh yeah, if this video gets up to 12 million views, I'll go to Russia and do something, and then
Oh wow,
and then he does it.
that's cool.
wow.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a thing. Hey, Sean, welcome from Long Beach. You're not too far from us. We're up in Moore Park right now, up by Ventura County. So,
What up, Sean?
what up, dude? We'll
Yo.
hang out sometime. Okay, this one's from T's Strength Studio Gym. Says Tony Jacobson, Albany. Oh, that's where you're from. Hey, yeah. Hey, Tony, welcome, man. Okay, Edu has another question. Says a bottom mic on the snare. Yes, there are 2 mics on the snare drum, one on the top and one on the bottom. That's something you pretty much always want to do. The top mic is going to give you. Actually, hell, I can do it right now. Brian, will you do me a favor and just play quarter notes on your snare drum? Here's what his snare top mic sounds like. Okay, and here's what the bottom snare mic sounds like. So you can see how the top mic has a lot of thunk and a lot of crack to it, but it doesn't really sound like a snare drum. It's kind of more like a tom than it is a snare because there's no snare wires on it. And so then we blend in the from the bottom mic, put them together. That's just a great sounding snare drum. So yeah, so that's usually how you mic up a snare, one on top and one on bottom.
That's a great sounding snare.
Hey,
too,
Matthew
dude.
Psyche
Thanks,
says
yeah.
$20 on
Thank you.
Jason. Matthew, what's up, dude?
Awesome.
Come on,
I love that.
back up your boys' play.
Okay,
We're
What's
we
going
doing the
on?
Lord's work.
We have 480 to go before you guys fight.
Sir Bluefoot says he went to Africa to play Africa.
That's cool.
I'm for it. Okay, here's a question from Emo Bassist. Says, how do I go about improving my own bass lines? I play other people's songs and have trouble making up my own. I did for years. I struggle with that problem. I don't think I do anymore, and here's the reason why. Give me a second to put it in words. I think one of the best things I learned about going to school, which, by the way, I don't recommend a music degree for most people. I think it's not a good idea. But one of the best things I learned in school was we analyzed music. So we would listen to a composition or read the score or whatever, and we didn't just go, okay, that was cool, next song. Like, we spent weeks bar by bar by bar. Like, look at how Beethoven used this chord. It goes from that to that. We call that a German augmented sixth. We had to analyze the music to make sense of it, so that we could make our own music with it, right? So I think when it comes to learning other people's lines, that's an excellent place, not just a start, but that's an excellent place to always go to, right? But then break it down and ask yourself questions. Like in school, we would say, okay, so what is it? What's happening? Is it an altered mixolydian dominant scale? Is it just a straight up major scale? Is it like what's happening under the hood? And then why is it there? And what's effective about it? Like, just ask yourself questions about what's happening, what's working, and what's not. And when you find that out, then you can start to apply that as a template to your own bass lines. Here's a great example. This is a series that I want to start here in my YouTube channel. I just don't know how to do it because, again, it's all copyrighted material, and I don't think I'm allowed to. But I'll give you a sample here. So there's a song by No Doubt called Spiderwebs. Do you guys know it?
Yeah.
Brian, do you know it?
How's that one go?
It starts out with the bida bida ba boom 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 boom.
Oh yeah.
You know that song? I mean, like,
I don't know.
have you heard it before?
I don't know.
So the drum. So
I'll figure it out.
Anyways, but the drum is just a.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like that kind of thing.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's a song by No Doubt called Spiderwebs. And the reason why I think of that song, 1996, 1997. Yeah, give me a second, bro. Let me think about what I'm saying.
I have no idea.
Let me think about what I'm saying. Shut up. So I remember Jason, my brother, he started playing bass before I did. So I remember like 6, 7, 8 years old, somewhere in that ballpark. And I remember Jason was upstairs on my dad's P bass, and he had figured that song out. Jason has an incredible ear. And he started playing that bass line, which goes like this. And I just remember hearing that over and over and over and over again. And it stuck with me. Here I am, I'm 33. That was at least 20 years ago probably, and I'm still in love with that line. So I learned it all those years ago, and then recently I just asked, why? Why do I still remember that bass line? Why do I still remember this one? Like any bass line. What's special about it? I don't know, I never heard it. But you know what I mean? Like why do I like it? What's special? So Spiderwebs starts with an arpeggio. We're in B flat. That was just 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. Right? It's just going up a major arpeggio and then coming back down. And then we do the same thing from F. So if we're in B flat, we do it from the 1 chord and then the 5 chord. Then we go to the 6 chord. It goes to a G minor, but he stops arpeggiating. That's not arpeggios. That's scale motion. That's note after note after note. And then we go to an E flat, and it's the same thing. So it goes basically arpeggio, arpeggio, scale, scale. And also, like, he goes up. He goes up for both arpeggios and then up for this scale, but then down for this one, like the direction that the notes are moving. So all I'm saying is I'm analyzing the bass line, like what's going on a very technical level. And a lot of you, either it just went, or you're like, I don't care. Why would you want to know that about the song? Cool. So now let's do something totally different. If I was going to play Sweet Home Alabama, so how can I apply that concept of arpeggio, arpeggio, scale, scale? Because that's what Spiderwebs did. Right? Like, it's the same concept. I'm just taking arpeggios and scales, and I even started it out like... I mean, that's basically exactly Spiderweb's bass line, but just with different chord changes underneath. So I think that's the key that most... Oh, I'm sorry, this was such a long explanation for a very short answer, but very, very short question. But if you just learn bass lines, you're only doing 10% of the work. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but if you just learn the groove, if you just learn the lead, that's not even 50%. It's a fraction of what you should be doing. The other 90% is dive in. What are they doing? How are they doing it? Why are they doing it? And this is all guessing, because I'm not Tony Kanal. He wrote the bass part. I don't know why or how or what he was thinking. I'm just guessing. I'm just like a scientist trying to figure out what's happening underneath the hood. And when you do that, now you're kind of getting inside the mind of that player. And so if someone says like, oh, we're going to play this kind of song. If I'm in the studio and I need to come up with a line, I'm like, this sounds like a Switchfoot song. So how can I incorporate... How can I include that groove or that line or that lick and not rip it off, but like, how do I include that in some way? So it's just always about beefing up your vocabulary, I guess. That's the easiest way to say. And I'm sorry that took so long. That was a long way to go. But that's how I would do it. Hi from Moscow. Holy moly!
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay, welcome to sunny Southern California.
Nostrovia.
I've never been to Moscow,
Prost.
but it's on my list of places to go. All right, we got one more that we're going to do here, and we'll take any of your questions that you guys want, and then we got to get out of here because it is 12:30 our time. We've been doing this for an hour and a half. My voice hurts.
You're doing a great job.
Oh, thank you, Brian.
Yeah.
I'm so happy. All right, so this one's kind of like a Jamiroquai kind of. It's more like disco than it is funk. But I'll play it for you guys first, just like always, and then let me know what you think. Okay, here we go. That's the idea. So yeah, like kind of like a disco funk. You have a wah. Okay, excellent. I told you to bring the wah. I knew we would get to it. Brian, Jason, you guys got any questions?
What are you gonna have for lunch?
I don't know. There's a really good Indian restaurant here.
Let's do it.
Okay.
That's all I got.
What are you guys doing for lunch? We'll
I
get.
can't take this kind of pressure if I'm going to track.
I hit the
can't
wrong
think of
button.
lunch.
Sorry, Jason.
I hit the wrong button, and we've been advertising the Basis podcast this whole entire time. But hey, this is a great time to say that you should check out the Basis podcast. Both of these guys have been on it before, many times actually.
It's a good time.
Thank you.
But yeah, it's a fantastic. I just had an episode with Brian Beller from the Aristocrats, from Death Clock, Joe Satriani, Steve Vai. He's played with everybody. I've had Yannick Wasdala on recently. It's the favorite thing that I do. And actually, I just had a really good one with Merv Douglas from Power Man 5000.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we played a show with Power Man about a month ago,
awesome.
and yeah, I just went over to his place last week, and it's the best podcast I've ever done. It was like 3 hours, 3.5 hours.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
We
to
went
hear
off. Well, he came out guns blazing.
Yeah,
you guys
he
a little
was
backstory.
ready.
Oh yeah, he came out like he called my bluff immediately and hit me with just like some really heavy questions. The first 20 minutes of the podcast is just me trying to rescue myself. it's embarrassing and it was brutal, but I can't wait for you guys to hear it.
I can't wait to hear that.
And oh wait, hold on, we got some chat action going on here. What are people saying? Thanks for these videos. I'm learning a lot. Hugs from Spain. Edu. I don't know how to say your name, but you're very, very welcome. And actually, this is a great time to say thank you to all of you. This is a Saturday morning where we are, but it could be Saturday night or Sunday morning for you. I don't know where you are. But thank you for tuning in. We really, really appreciate you guys being here and hanging with us today. And I hope to get to do this a lot more. So hi from Mumbai. I don't even know where that is.
Dude, that's in India.
India, for real?
Yeah.
Have you been there?
No.
Well, then shut up. But hey, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it.
It's a little aggressive today.
Bluefoot says,
Yeah,
lunch,
wow,
I've
dude.
already had
Wow.
dinner, and now it's dark, but up for second lunch. Is that a Lord of the Rings joke? Second breakfast? Was that a...
They come in pints?
I'm getting one. All right. That's awesome. I'm a huge Death Clock fanboy. Then you need to check out the podcast with Brian Beller. It was fantastic. And actually, I'm such a big Death Clock fan, too, and I was so upset because... the last time they came to LA, I was like, I wanted to see the tour so bad. And I'm sitting there laying in bed like, man, I wonder if they're coming through LA soon. So I go to the website, I'm looking on my phone, and we're playing the Palladium. That night, like literally I was in my bed like, no! It was the last show of the tour. And then they never went back out again. And I was just like, it was like, oh, maybe I can still make it. Oh, crap, they're playing right now. Dang it. So it
Dude,
didn't
that's
happen.
heartbreaking.
It was
Guthrie and
heartbreaking.
the not Aristocats.
I always want to say that too.
It
That was a
happens
Disney
sometimes.
cartoon.
They,
All right.
They did a show 2 weekends ago over by the Staples Center in an industrial super hidden show. Found out about it through a friend.
Huh.
Night of couldn't make it. Would
Bummer.
have loved to see that. It's gonna rip.
Such is the plight of life. All right, here we go, Jay. Actually, I should tune also because I think I'm out. Jason's smart and he's tuning silently. I'm being a jerk and making everyone listen to my tuning.
Welcome to the basis.net.
Is Aristocrats Govan?
Marco
Guthrie
Miniman?
Govan, Marco
Yeah,
Miniman? Those guys?
yeah.
Oh, that would be
Oh,
crazy.
it's so good.
Oh.
I
I
love those dudes.
I talk a lot. I don't talk when they play. I just sit there and I have to like drool and pick my mouth
that,
up.
that's
Naturally.
my favorite music.
Love it.
What would be what do you call that? Jam fusion?
Fusion, yeah.
Jam
for
rock
sure.
fusion? I don't know. Unreal
Sure.
stuff.
British fusion.
Maybe. Okay, this song has how big of a count in? Is it 1 bar or 2? Where's my
Good question.
nothing's working. What's going on? Oh, there we go. Technical 1, 2. Yeah, okay. All right, 2 bars. Here we go. You ready?
Cool.
Let's do it. That's it. I don't need a second take on that one.
Hold for applause. Hold for applause.
The One Take Wonders. That's the name of our band.
Boom.
How did I miss that?
There it is.
One Take Wonders.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll get like those Robin.
No pressure
Blindfold.
in that band.
What do they call? No, not blindfold. What do they wear? What do you call that?
Visors.
You mean like the
Not a
Ninja
visor.
Turtles?
Yeah. What would you call that? The bandana with the cutout for your eyes?
A bandit, bandito.
Hey,
I
if
don't know.
anyone knows what that is,
Bandit.
internet, can you help us?
Bandit headwear.
We need an adult.
Visors.
Need a
Visors, yeah.
visors.
All right. Well, hey, guys, thank you so very much for tuning in with us today. Also, thank you so much to GHS Strings for making this live stream possible. And also, hey, thank you so much to Jason and Brian. Please put your digital hands together. Send a bunch of zeros and ones their way. That's binary code.
Dude, thanks for having us, man. This is
dude,
awesome.
my pleasure. Jason,
This
what are
is
you
a
doing?
blast.
I'm coming up to show the Taylor Swift pick.
It's
You're
first of all,
plugged
that
in,
camera's
Jason.
not on. And also, focus doesn't work that way, Jay. Look at the screen. Look over here. You can see how it's out of focus.
I'm sorry, Taylor.
Cameras don't work that way.
That was her big break.
She
And then-
missed it. She missed it. She's gonna get a shout
Her
out
face
on the
is
Basis
copywritten,
podcast.
so I didn't want to,
But anyways, okay, hold on. There's wow, there's a lot of comments that we missed. Okay, so I'm gonna get to all these right now. I just want to say a big thank you to Jason and Brian for hanging out with me and for doing this live stream. This was actually a huge dream of mine. About 10 years ago, I wrote down, I take lots of notes. There's notepads all around this studio with things written on it. And something I wrote about 10 years ago was one day I want to have a studio that's set up to live stream with a band in real time. And that's exactly what I did today. So I finally made it. It took long enough. It took about 10 years, but we got there.
But it looks great, dude.
Oh, thank you,
That's
man.
great.
So this is something we're going to do a lot more often. It may not be an educational experience like this. It might be a concert. I don't know, but we're going to be doing a lot more of this stuff. So, guys, thanks so much for coming in and hanging. I appreciate it. I know you guys it's Saturday. It's almost 1. So if you got somewhere you got to go, feel free. Do whatever you got to do. I'm going to stick around and answer some more questions if you guys have them. And if you have anything for Jason and Brian, go ahead and say it now so in case they have to leave, we can get it. But yeah, feel free to stick around or head out. We'll do anything.
Awesome.
And guys, I'll hang out for maybe 20 more minutes or so and or 5 if we're done with questions, if you don't have anything for me. But let me let's get to some of these questions over here. So first of all, I left off at lunch. Death clock. Hold on. Greetings from Switzerland. Wow, Maurice, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate that. Hold on. Play some Fat Function. Fat Function. I don't know what that is.
Fat function?
Yeah, with a PH. I have no idea.
that's actually a group.
This message is held for review. Uh-oh. Oh, it's a bunch of zeros and ones. If people send you... So YouTube's algorithm assumed that going 011, 0111, 001 or something meant that we were sending computer viruses.
The distant future, the year 2000.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Hello from Moscow. One more time, Dimitri. Hey, yo. Welcome.
yo.
Glad to have you here with us. You know, how freaking cool is that? This blows my mind that we're in California. We got people in Moscow and Switzerland, and we got people all over the world tuning in and hanging out with us right now. It just blows my mind.
Pretty awesome. We're just jamming in a room.
We got
That's
Brazil in the house. Alessandro Santos. I don't know how to speak Portuguese, but if I did, I would say something to you. That's what they speak there, right?
Sure.
Yes.
That's how American I am. I don't even know. Hi from Indonesia. Hey, Arif. Glad to have you. Okay, here's a question from Marco. It says, "What's the height of your strings?" I have no idea. Jay, in the cabinet out there, there's an Ernie Ball like musician's kit or something, and there might be radius or like a file in there. I seriously have no idea. I do all my own setups, but I barely know enough about setting up guitars and basses just to do enough damage for what I need to do. So yeah, I don't know off the top of my head, but I do play with pretty high action. I definitely don't play with low action. The strings are raised up higher than probably most people, because I play with also a very light touch. Is there a ruler in there? There is. Look at that. All right. Hey, shout out to Ernie Ball. They make this thing called the Musician's Toolkit. I don't know if you can see that in there, but oh, not these radius gauges. I added these, but it's got like a bunch of Allen wrenches and some tools, things. I don't know. It's probably like $20 or something like that. Really cool. And one of the things it has is a file, a ruler of some sort. So I don't know really how to do this. I imagine I'm going to go from the fret to the lowest part of the string, or would I go from the body? I don't know. I'm gonna go from the fingerboard. That's what I'm gonna do. It looks like 5 millimeters, roughly, from the fingerboard. And if I were to go from the body, about 15 millimeters. Yeah, that looks about right. So I don't know if that helps you. Next question. Fat Function. Check Fat Function Sweatbox. Okay, cool. I'm gonna put that on my list. Rehan says, "Let's play something. Lots of love from India." Yeah, definitely. Ema Besa says, "What's your opinion on the Bronco bass?" Jason, get out of here with that. Says, "What's your opinion on the Bronco bass?" Just got one the other day. I really like it. It seems like a little bright, and I just want to know your opinion. Oh no! Sorry, I spilled my coffee. I'm going to move this mic with my face. Let me drop a link for you to check out. Because the bassist.net is down. My site is exploded a couple days ago, so I was going to share a link with you. Oh, I can still do it on YouTube. Hold on, this will work too. I'm sending you something. No. I did a video where I compared the Squier Bronco to a Fodera Monarch. Let me see if I can find it on here. Bronco. If I type in Squier Bronco, Jamie Lewis, what comes up? Here we go. All right.
Is your agency using WordPress to build websites?
No, we're not. I'm going to drop a link in here for you to check this out. So this is a video where I was at this event called Tomans Gearhead University. Hey, go talk outside. What are you doing? You're ruining my live stream. What's wrong with you people? No, I did this. I was at this event called Tomans Gearhead University in Germany. And it's the largest music store, so I chose the most inexpensive instrument I could find, which is a Squier Bronco. I actually own one. And then a Fodera Monarch something. It was like a 12,000 euro bass. So like the cheapest instrument and one of the most expensive ones. And I played identical passes with both basses. And then I kind of play it for you, and you tell me which one you like more. So click on that link and check out that video. But I love the Squier Bronco. It's a cruddy instrument. And that's the point. It doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound hi-fi. It has a junky sound. And that's cool. It's a character piece. I think it's similar to like a Fender Mustang bass or Music Master or Jazz. No, not Jazz Master. I don't know. One of those kinds of instruments. It's just a junky, clunky. Think of The Office. Like, what kind of bass did he use to record the theme song in The Office? That's what I would use the Bronco for. Yeah. So I don't know if that helps you at all. But check out that video. You can hear it up against a very expensive Fodera. P bass or J bass? J. I'm a J player. I have a P bass right here, but I have 2 J basses right next to it. I've said this a million times, but for me, the J bass is the way to go. It'll get the job done 90% of the time. 99% of the time, probably. This whole entire session I just did on one instrument. Probably couldn't do that with a P bass. No, I take that back. I think the J bass is more versatile. The P bass sounds like it sounds, and that's it. Whereas the J bass can sound a few different ways, and all of them will fit the context of what you're trying to do. Just about. So that's why I say J. Bluefoot says, an American using metric. Well, I just assumed that's how it goes. I looked at the first set of numbers, and the millimeters was easier to read, so that's what I went with. So 10 millimeters is like almost 3/4 of half an inch, which is, I don't know, I'm bad at math. So I started looking at this like, I can't figure that number out as fast, but it says 10 millimeters or 5 or whatever. So that was just easier. Wow, 5 millimeters is pretty high. I don't know. I guess it is. It's what I play. Marco says, just to let you know, the sound you have in the Bass the World video with the Jay Sandberg is one of the best sound I've ever heard. Thank you so much, Marco. And for anyone who doesn't know what he's talking about, I'll share that video here too. Give me 1 second. Not this one. There were 2 videos that went up, and I can't find the one that you're talking about. Dang it, where is it? Bass the World. Jimmy Lewis, J bass maybe. Well, here's one of them that went up, and I think there's another one. Yeah, I did.
Enter
I did
to
2
win a
videos
price.
with them, and I just can't find them what you're talking about. But you can check out this one, and I'm sure it'll link to the one that you are talking about. But thank you so much, man. That's a really cool bass, and people have been sending me lots of messages about it. Like, what kind of pickups was it? And how'd you do this and that? I walked into his studio. He handed me a bass and said, "Here, let's play music." And I was like, "Cool, I'll play this song." I played it one time, and then I left. No, we did 2 songs actually. But I mean, like, I know nothing about that instrument other than, you're right, it is one of the best sounding J basses that I've ever played. And yeah, that's neck pickup all the way. Actually, it's one of my favorite places to play a jazz bass, is just solo up the neck pickup. It's got like a P bass sound with more thickness, I think is the best way to explain. I don't know. Words for music. It's a silly thing. But yeah, I think that's an incredible sounding instrument. Valentine, I'm not going to try to pronounce your last name, says passive or active? Definitely passive. I'm sorry. Yeah, I always go passive. I only use an active preamp on my active basses, which are maybe 3 of them. The rest of the basses are all passive. I just think it's easier to get a passive instrument to sound good with processing than it is to get an active instrument to sound good from the bass itself. That's just my personal opinion, and it's what I've found to be true in all of my musical experience. But there's people who have done the exact opposite and have much better careers than I have. So maybe I should listen to them. It's always, right tool for the job. But that's just how I feel. I feel it's easier to get a passive instrument to sound great. What about a P bass with a J pickup? I don't like it. It's not my thing for no other reason than I just want, call me Val. Okay, Val it is. When I want a J bass, I want the sound of a J. And when I want a P bass, I want the sound of a P. I never want the sound of half of each. It's just I had a PJ bass. I had a Fodera Monarch Victor Wooten 4-string signature. It's a very nice, very expensive bass that actually came from Victor's private collection. And I sold it years ago because I hated the way that it sounded. Because it was a PJ with EMGs, and that's not how I play. That's not how I sound. It's an amazing instrument. I'm not knocking Fodera or Victor's bass or him. It's incredible, and it works for the people who gravitate towards that style and that sound. But it was not for me at all. Bluefoot says, I like my basses like my women. I'm not going to finish that sentence, but I think you guys get the idea. Well, hey, guys, I do need to get going, so thank you so very much. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us today. Again, I'm going to do this a lot more often. This one was 2 hours. I promise next time we'll shorten the gap, and you're going to see a lot of the content that we did today popping up at thebasis.net over the next few weeks. So everything that we recorded, I'm going to mix it down. I'm going to write lessons to it. I might use some of the bass playing that I did now, or I might re-record some of it and transcribe it and whatever. But then I'm going to turn these into lessons. So I'll teach you how to play everything that I did today. And maybe even some of the topics that we touched on. So anyways, thank you guys. I really, really appreciate it. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to the channel by clicking on this button over here. And if you really like what I do, come hang out with me at thebasis.net. But you're going to have to wait a couple more days because, again, the site exploded. You can go there, but there's not much to see. But you can do that by clicking on this button right down here, and then new podcasts go live each and every week. So thanks so much. I appreciate you all, and thanks for tuning in today. We'll see you next time here at thebasis.net.